Sacrificial eggnog, walang sacrificial verb. Let's just put him out of the equation entirely. Red team was able to ban ang Popolin Kupa though. Grabe yung support actually si Popolin Kupa. I mean, we know the initial role is a marksman, but like the idea that you have a hero that actually has someone to tank. Again, I said this in game 1. You have someone to tank your front line and you can kite from the backside. It helps both you, if you're makakuha ka ng kill, as well as yung teammate mo. Kasi mali yung target, nakakite mo, and your teammate will actually just damage the enemy as well.
Yes, and yeah, like what you mentioned, that Popolin Kupa is really one of the versatile heroes right here. Kasi pwede mo paglaruan kung saan mo siya pwedeng ilalagay. Pero syempre, yung sa game lang po tayo hindi po tayo sa real life makikipaglaro. Pero again, going back right here onto the second banning phase ng ating Insanity PH, they will be banning out the Selena. So, sorry ulit Kuya Shingo, wala ka po makikita Selena play right here. And syempre naman ang sagot ng ating SGP is the Yuzong. So, kung papansinin nyo, yung mga naggamit ng ating respective teams ang binan, which is essential kasi kung di mo nga naman gagamitin, might as well not give it to your enemy team.
Kufra is open, Yi Sunshin is open, Farsa is open as well. Farsa actually got locked in. Yi Sunshin is open, and Atlas is open as well.
Daming open.
Johead is open, and just literally, inaalala ko yung draft. Cho is open as well. So they actually did a hover and Cho, so pwedeng i-lock in din nila. Since Cho was pretty strong in game 1.
And yeah, the fact that the Cho has a very high threat with the pag napunta yan sa Insanity page, you really wouldn't want to give that to your enemy team kasi we can't really deny it that the Cho was really, alam mo yun, isa sa talagang naging
Nagulat ka, no?
Yun, pacemakers ng ating game number 1. But going back here though for the side of Insanity PH, X-Borg, okay, will still be coming into play. Let's see if they would still be hovering up that Isan Shin this time. And Uranus.
Okay. So, gaya pa yung intonation natin Uranus. Anyway, Uranus, of course, offlaners. And this is just my taste, but si Uranus kasi, he's very tanky and can dish out a lot of damage. And siya din yung, when you talk about frontline, aside from Tams, na open, by the way, wink wink, open si Tams na banned nung game 1. Sila kasi yung, sige lang, damage mo lang, tapos bahal na si X-Borg or si Sunshin sa likod. So, Red Team is taking their time. They could go with funnel, but open nga si Kufra, so they did lock that in. Might as well secure one solid tank. They could, may funnel na. They need one more support.
And the carry. Yeah, but
Atlas,
yes, I think we will, hindi na nga natin makikita tayong Atlas because the fatal links earlier from game 1 were really precise and they do not want to experience that again. Even though this time nagkaroon tayo ng mix and match in terms of drafts. But again, here the third banning phase for the side of the blue team is gonna be the Roger, which is an okay pick kasi yun nga naman ang isa sa mga kulang ng ating red team. So you don't really want to give the red team the kind of carry that they need. So here, since meron ng essential na napili for the side of Insanity PH, they could go for... Okay, yun ang sana sasabihin ko, but yan they read my mind na
Naunahan ka
Pinangunahan na ako
Chang and Carmilla being hovered, but yes, High Loss is open as well. Glorious Pathway can be very essential sa both engage and disengage. And kung saan ilatag ni half human, half horse. Cyclops being hovered as well. But yeah, kung saan yung Glorious Pathway, sasabihin ko sana, doon din yung Meteor Shower. But they did switch it, ginawang Cyclops. Ultimate niya has a long stun. So, and yung ikot ng orbs and thingies niya, whenever he's at play, nakakainis yun. Lancelot being hovered, yes. Lancelot is the perfect funnel for this because imagine lahat yan, and I can already see the possible fights, pero ako never bigla Harry. Anyway, both works. If ever Lancelot papasok lahat, you have an ultimate coming in from Kufra or Falling Star Moon from Esmeralda. After nun, tsaka papasok si Lancelot with his ultimate. It can dish out a lot of damage and it can surprise yung Insanity PH din dito.
Yeah, but in comparison with the Harith Hover kanina, I would really be siding with the Lancelot pick much better. And buti na lang yung talaga nilang kanya. Kasi it's much more... kasi it's much more versatile. Of course, we are seeing that the Harith goes for chrono dashes, pwede siya mag-engage, disengage. But the thing is, kapag nahuli siya and with regards to, let's say, example, nahuli siya ng stun ni Cyclops right there. It's gonna be a very difficult time for that Tara to actually go and move and be agile in time para makago siya sa ating safety. But still, depends. For the side of Insanity PH, it's very interesting for me to have that Cyclops pick, honestly. Because yes, sure, in terms of stun duration, talagang mapapastay put ka. Like dog sit, stay, ganon. Pero, the thing is, it's single base target. So, sabihin natin nagamit na niya yung ult, what is next? Kung bigla akong ma-teamfight ng ating SGP dito, nahuli ka, edi +1 ka sa kanilang pick-off. But it depends again, because the performance will be based on the battle play.
And I think yung condition ng blue team dito is end the game ASAP. Because looking at the draft ng SGP, they're like, yeah, you got us at late game, so we're probably gonna get you sa late game as well when you have Lancelot and yung mga other late game heroes. And it's just a matter of, will they be able to prolong the game or not? So we are gonna jump straight into game 2. Guys, wag niyong kalimutan i-share yung live stream. This could possibly be the last game for our first series.
Possibly, game number 3 depends, because like what you said, the lineup of Insanity PH is one for the cleanup. You know, you would really like to go on a very one-sided type of play, kasi I do not want to see, I would like to see Loki, pero syempre, you would really see the threat kapag yung Esmeralda na yan ay nagkaroon ng shield ng napakakapal. It's gonna be very difficult to actually go for that pick-off.
Flame Shot was not able to connect onto that Little Wonder, so they were not able to steal that and kuha lang agad ng buff dito, of course. Pero mukhang grabe naman to, early game pala agad yung Cho, pero ako pa nagsisipaan, nagpapalagan, but Cho was forced to go back because X-Borg in the early game, with his consistent damage, yung blue fire na yan, it's gonna hurt a lot. Like, look at that, bro. Pero kung papalag ang Cho natin dito, X-Borg forced to go back, nagapoy-apoy na nga, but they are now down to the last bars of their health, and ang advantage kasi na X-Borg dito, may Firaga armor siya.
Yes, which adds a little bit more, crunchiness in terms of his HP right there. So, pero kung wala pa siya Firaga armor, the Cho could actually go inside for that pick-off. But, like what we said, it's essential for both sides of the team sa talagang nag-back out sila kanina. Because number 1, the resources were already taken out by both sides. And number 2, you don't really want to give that early economy to either side. So much better na lang to play safe, diba? But looking at the locations ng ating both sides, they are on a very steady pace. Hindi na sila katulad kanina na that's really aggressive at talagang hindi na nakikita natin for the side of Insanity PH, hindi na sila katulad ng game mo na talagang pasok. Into the early phases ng game. Because number 1, wala na kasi silang Diggy and they don't really have that other hero to actually do that kind of content.
Napakabilis na mag-clear ng X-Borg dito, pero ako po, alam na ata na yung Cho, isang hipo na lang high losses. High, but Cho was able to go back. Instead, we are gonna take that threat sa bot lane, and ayun naka-first blood coming in. Naku po, Lancelot pa ang nakuha, and yun na nga, that was a very quick first blood for SGP. Mukhang
and very thrifty kasi the Lancelot has to do is just really get in and go for the cleanup while the others really just took out the damage. And that was a very good call for the side of SGP kasi you would really want to give that kind of kills sa talagang magka-carry sa inyo come the mid phases of the game. But again, with another pause right here, medyo mukhang kinakabahan din mga players.
Yung internet okay lang yan, guys. It happens, pati yung internet kinakabahan. Kami kinakabahan, Jola. We're actually excited to see if we're gonna see a game 3 or will we end things with 2-0. But like, ang naka-first blood again, Lancelot, ang na-first blood is si Uranus. So one of the things to actually try and counter yung mga offlaners natin is bisitahin. If you're from the mid lane, it won't take as much for you to actually go to top lane or bot lane. And usually naman, pag offlaners, mag-isa sila. Ayun yung mga strong independent woman or strong independent man.
Yes.
So, they need to stick with their threat as much as they can. Pero mga ultimate coming in from that Isan Shin and high loss, medyo hinaba ng tatlong haba ng Hermodon Gorl, but he was able to survive. Nako po, hi! What's what's good also coming from Esmeralda and another kill coming over to Lancelot right kinabutan nila dito naka-double kill pa nga si Kuya mo Lancelot pero X-Borg kind of late to the party but 3 people from the red team still applying pressure on the flame para sa using that feathered airstrike.
Uy, one more time!
But revitalized just in time hinabol ng ibong malayong lumipad but decided to just go back.
Yun. And that was a very good choice of target for the side of Esmeralda kanina, no? Really taking out the Cyclops para hindi nga naman siya magkaroon ng burst damage into that fight. Kasi if ever so na nabuhay pa nga siya, that could actually be, an overturn for the side of the Sanity PH. But again, this is a very good discipline for the side of SGP, just taking the objectives after the pickoffs. And looking here, I've been just really trying to that potential steal, but unfortunately, numbers matter, and that is where SGP is at advantage doon sa ating turtle take.
You have shields, I take shields, sabi ni Esmeralda dito. I honestly think na X-Borg and Uranus should switch lanes.
Yes.
Kasi by the book, ang counter sa Uranus is Esmeralda. But whatever works. Pero mukhang kinakait-kait sa Gedli. Naku po ang show natin and he was able to flicker out. That was a nice one. But out though, muntik na siya makuha ng Hylos doon. But he decided to just stay sa boots because padating na din pala ang kanyang kakampi is the ultimate available. Apparently that is a yes and nawala na nga bigla ang kalaban. Naglaho ng parang bula.
But that was a good strategy for the SGP kasi if you noticed earlier, they didn't really go for the kill. They just really wanted to waste the flicker of that choke para hindi nga naman siya magkaroon ng initiation come a team fight. And he was actually forced to back away with that low HP. And going back before that pause, the reflexes are there. Kasi the Forza was able to actually let's say calculate. Ayan, medyo malalim yung ating English ngayon. Ayan, the Forza was actually able to calculate that in time para yung skills niya to actually hit dun sa ating bottom side with that feathered airstrike. So it just goes to show that Forza here, hindi siya nag-aalinlangan in terms of actually taking all the resources para lang makaget ng pick-off, which was a very good demonstration earlier.
And I guess one of the reasons as to why Farsa is arguably one of the best sports in this meta is because yung mobility niya, pag nagiging ibon din pala si Farsa, no? Yeah, pag nag-warp siya or something. And pag naubos yung time, automatic feathered airstrike. And if you time that correctly, nakita niyo naman yung nangyari sa botlane, it is pretty much a sure kill. I think naging bait nga lang yung show nun eh. Parang, okay, nakikita ko nandun si Farsa. I think I can sustain naman yung buhay ko and they actually went for the kill. But anyway, slowly but surely pa rin, red side was able to get the kills that they needed though. And mind you, Lance pa yung mostly nakakuha ng kills.
Yes, because we did mention that Insanity PH's initial goal here is to really finish the game off. But kung makikita mo yung pinaka-pace ng game natin, SGP, although getting those kills through and through, they really want to prolong it. Kasi that is where the Esmeralda and the company would really go online talaga. Doon mo makikita the damage output that they will bring come the skirmishes fights that they would have. And the other suggestion that you have earlier by the Uranus and the Extra really switching out is more essential for this type. Kasi kung hindi nila gagawin yun, madedenay lang talaga si Uranus dito.
That is true. Naku po, 3 tao ba naman ang bumibisita bigla? We'll make that for Hylos. Actually got box in. Will you be able to flip around the guys? A dead Esmeralda in the hands of Nissan Shin. Pero may na-stand dito. Naku po, goodbye Hylos ang nangyari dito. Uranus along with Nissan Shin did try to go away. Pero naku po, ay napakasakit naman na na bate from Farsa. Was able to get a kill and that is a 2-for-1 in favor of the red team. Pwede airstrike na ko pero kapag dalawang tumalon sa pagmumukha mo. And Lancelot again ang nakapatay doon. Tanong ko lang, pag nakakapatay ka, nagsisticker ka, it's apparently a thing sa mga players, di ba?
Ako kasi hindi. Para sa akin, I don't do that until sure talaga ako na panalo ko. Para sa akin, I can't afford to put those stickers in unless I know that I'm winning.
Sigurista pa lang ate mo, Seya. Pero mukhang meron hinahabol na export dito. The damage coming from the red team is just too much. Alice ay mega kill ako po. Mukhang anong gagawin. Na-re-engage ng blue team natin. Nice ultimate. Naghiwa-hiwala yung red team for a while. Re-engage. Will it be enough? Naku po. Gagawin na yung damage ng Lancelot mo. Yung Bermuda Triangle nakakatakot. Another kill coming in for the red side. Falling Star was connecting on to that Hylos and Lies. A double kill coming in to Lancelot. kaya pala hindi nakaka-respond si Lee San-shin kanina. Kufra was keeping him at bay. Lee San-shin could have been a very vital help doon sa bot lane kanina bilang tumalon na nga bang si Bomog yet again forced to use Flicker to be able to get out, Cyclops Flickers in, pero distraction lang pala yun because they were able to get the turtle.
Which is what supports do right here. You get your life in exchange for objectives.
Story of my life.
Story of my life. But again, going back right here, Insanity PH, we are starting to see, they're starting to get compressed in terms of the map. SGP here really getting onto the resources as much as they can, and Nina just really, having a very chill pace in using the Feathered Airstrike, walang alinlangan here, with the Falling Star Moon of Esmeralda really becoming a threat, especially to the squishier targets, specifically the Cyclops and of course the Ethan Shin. Glorious Pathway is going to be used, will be enough to stun Nina, but here the bouncing ball will be, the counterplay para ma-immobilize nga naman si Hylos, para hindi nga naman yung makuha ni Farsa.
Hinahabol yung Uranus. Actually, one of the things that Insanity PH could do is try to get Lancelot. But then again, nakita natin kanina, Lancelot was with Esmeralda, and wow, that's a nice pick-up coming in from the bottom. Farsa does get taken down. Nag-last Insanity, hinabol pa, pero godlike bigla ang Lancelot natin dito. Cho was able to get a handful of kills for himself as well. Whoops, bilang jump in, kahit lang muna, and Immortality being pumped. Wala ka nang alis ngayon, sir. Sticker lang muna, and that is a legendary coming in to Lancelot. Now you can see bakit si Lancelot nasa meta na ngayon.
You can, he's really, yung Bermuda Triangle niya talaga parang triangle ng walis. Matagalinis di ba? So, and that's what we're seeing right now. Look at that beautiful pick off by the side of Lancelot here, going for the kill, at hindi pa rin siyang papatumpik. Although the Hylos was able to get Kangxi there out of the game, it's really not gonna be suffice because look at the damage that they're inflicting right here. The farm, so with the Feather Airstrike right here, with the way of the dragon, napakadaming ult naman ang binigay.
Nice connection.
Nararamdaman mo yung gigil
Baka kanina, super lapit ng game, natalo kami, pupush namin ito game. And SGP, of course, wanting this that we were able to secure that as well. Grabe naman yung Uranus na to. That is a very nice call from the red side. Kasi kung nasa yung Uranus, sinusunod siya ng Esmeralda.
Yeah, and kasi gaya ng sabi natin dito, you would really like to, you really like to deny or like to really counter out that Uranus right there. Kasi mahirap din siya kapag na-fed up siya or nagkaroon siya ng enough economy to actually go for that comeback. So that was a good call. But going back right here, looks like another pickup will be coming into play with Artis as the first target.
Oops, look at that. Looks like Red Team, they want to go all in. And of course, for the airstrike being used as a pro, na shutdown bigla ni Cyclops. Sila sila dito dahil sa ICBC coming in from Cooper, but looks like the lives of the blue team are still gonna be taken by our red side. Double kill coming over to our Farsa, and that was a 4-for-1 in favor of SGP. Nice try, honestly. You could see that Insanity PH, they can take that. It just so happened that ultimate initiates coming in from Kufra, connect that with Esmeralda, and grabe din kasi yung CC ng red team natin dito. Maybe blue team, they can try again. Naka-pick off naman, nakuha ni Cyclops yung Lancelot, and from there, they can actually snowball.
True. And the fact that we saw that the last Insanity of X-Borg was really efficient during that squishy fight dun sa ating jungle side now. The problem is they didn't really have enough follow-up damage kasi nga na-pick off muna yung Cyclops in that very first minute of that team fight. So again, last Insanity will be used but will be getting no one. Will be forced to flicker out, but the flame shot, napaka-asintado naman itong Farsa natin.
Boom! Connecting onto that also coming from Esmeralda, pero nakabigyan ng kabigla ang Kuya Mocho dito. Cyclops was the one that got taken out. Perfect timing for that Feather Airstrike. Nawala na nga si Uranus dito. Tumitipi-tipi na po ang red team natin. Show split pushing at the bot lane. Pero kung kung tumitipi kayo, magtitipi din yung Hylos. Backwards lang. They're actually now putting a hole onto the base of Insanity PH. The red team, they still want to give it a go. Is that Cooper? Yeah, I think that's Cooper.
Yes, it's Cooper.
Yung dalawang tax nagtitipi lang sa mid. That's actually adorable. Pero wait, Feather Airstrike ulit. Bouncing ball. Glorious Pathway being used as wala si Sandy. Ako po nawala na kabigla ang Cupra. and that far sub. So, here's why you don't TP yet unless you're actually taking out the base.
True, but that was just enough time to actually push the red minions onto their base. But let's see though if this Esmeralda will be surviving. And look here too, no, 3 members are actually on the chase. Looks like mabubuhay pa rin siya. Uy, pinabayaan, but because looking into the backlines right there, merong nababanta. Falling Storm is gonna be used, but the shields, no, maa-absorb lamang na Esmeralda right here and going for that counter fight.
Sabi ni Esmeralda, what shield? Ano yun? Ano ba yun? Ikuting yun, mag-get this. Tapos, ayun nga. So yeah, with Esmeralda constantly applying pressure kay Uranus, he pretty much can't do anything yet at least. Kasi pwede pa itong makuha ng team because it's super long. But how are you gonna do that if look at that burst damage coming from literally Lancelot, Farsa, you have Kufra with initiates as well. Kung baka naging tayo ng just one good initiate or one good pick-off, palag-palag.
So now Insanity PH has to really scavenge the resources right here kasi napakalimitado nga naman ng galaw nila dito sa ating mapa, and this is just a really patient game for the side of SGP. Kukuha lang sila ng Lord, then just try to really split the teams into 2 and go for another pick-up. Let's see with the potential steal. No, hindi daw, sabi ng Lancelot. Uy, falling sa
Esmeralda jumping in, nag-glorious bounty na nga, Isan gets the kidnap, pero kayo nahabol nila si Highland, yung nag-sticker pa nga. Uy! Ito the Jagger being committed as well, pero mukhang, wala na nabakit na nag-flicker in. Gamit naman yun, isang hit na lang, pero pumalag pa rin, and falling Simon being given Esmeralda as well. And natatawa ako sa mag-TP ng dalawang team sa tong kit nila, but that is gonna be a wipeout courtesy of your red team. It was a nice try by Insanity PH. They wanted to get the objective, but it just so happened that the damage is a tad bit too much for them to actually bear. And Farsa using the ultimate again, Lord marching at the bot lane, already hitting the base that the blue team has. Gabi naman yun, nasa respawn, pero pinapatay pa rin.
Grabe, sobra. And of course, game number 2 goes to Sterling Global Phoenix.
We have